Yeah, again, a very warm welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your interest in this webinar with the topic admission tips, admission process for the Berlin Specialized Master programs. My name is Martina, and I'm responsible together with my colleague Claire for recruitment and admission for the Specialized Master programs here at the Berlin campus. And we're happy to be your host today. And we are still more happy that we are not alone, but we brought some guests. And I will quickly hand over to one of our academic directors, Christian Pescher, to say some words. Christian, the floor is yours, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I would just like to welcome all participants, and I think it's great that you are here with us, because the decision you're about to take, the decision about which university you want to study in, is in the end something that will affect the rest of your careers, right? Because in the university that you enter, it basically determines who you will become. It will determine your network for a large part of your professional careers, and it will also play a role in the opportunities that open up. And I think that ESCP is a very good place, and particularly our specialized masters. ESCP in general is like an ecosystem. You know, we have campuses throughout Europe, throughout very interesting cities. I think, you know, studying in Madrid, Paris, London, Berlin, Warsaw, and Turin, like those are amazing cities, and having the experience to study in two or more of them is something which is like really, really special. And I think ESCP stands for internationality, like pretty much no other university in the world, because of our ecosystem of campuses. And additional things that I think are very outstanding at ESCP is, for example, the use of AI, right? So, I mean, it's rapidly developing. We have several researchers who are at the edge of the field. But it's also important for you, because I think when you enter the workforce after your master, it's going to be a core managerial skill. And I think in that case, it's very interesting to stress that ESCP has been chosen as an exclusive partner of OpenAI. So we have a very close cooperation with them, and I think you get a pretty good education in that direction. And on top of that, I mean, Berlin as a city is like is spectacular. You know, like the profs are here because of that. Many students are also here because of that. It's a nice city where you want to spend like the formative years of your life. In terms of learning experiences, it's very practitioner focused, right? So we have real projects, real companies, and in the end, in pretty much every course, we try to cooperate with companies, at least via guest speakers. But you also have the company consulting project, mandatory internship, and in the company consulting project, this is something I was asked a lot of times about. It is something where students get real tasks from real companies and already help them to solve like current up-to-date problems. So you get in touch with companies earlier than in many other programs. And overall, I just want to, you know, invite you to apply and give you the welcome to an interesting ecosystem that I think can help you a lot to shape your careers. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to see you.
Thank you so much, Christian. Yeah, we also we are supposed to have two student ambassadors with us. One is Maria, the other is Advait. Advait, yeah, we're still waiting for him, but so I would like to give the word to Maria. She is a second-year student. She is at the end of her studies in Master in Sustainability, Entrepreneurship, and Innovation. And yeah, Maria, maybe later, I'm sure you will also be able to answer a lot of questions, share your experience. And now Advait is also here, but I give first the word to Maria.
Well, hi, hello to everyone. I'm Maria. I'm a student from Venezuela. I've been here in Germany for 10 years, and as Martina was saying, I'm studying the Masters in Sustainability, Entrepreneurship, and Innovation. And just to maybe give you like a brief overview of what the experience has been for me, it has been like the best year of my life. I have to say, like 2025, particularly last year. I mean, I started at the end of 2024, the masters, and like this past year and a half has been the best. Just the amount of things that I've been able to learn. The people have been the first thing that I love the most about it, my classmates, how much I've learned the international environment, having the opportunity to also study in Paris. As Christian was saying, we are an international university, so having that possibility to study in two campuses has been amazing because it's between Berlin and Paris. And just all the people, like guest speakers and professors that I've been able to learn from has been an amazing opportunity for me and really life changing. And I think anything that you experience in life, you're gonna learn as much as you as much effort you put into it. Like that's how much as you're gonna get out. So I think it's a really good environment to take as much advantage like as you can from any opportunity that you have and to really learn from your peers. That's what I can say.
Yeah, thank you so much. And now, Advait, I hope you can hear us. You could
Yeah,
maybe
I can hear you.
connect. Yeah, maybe also some words from your side just to introduce you. You are a second year student in the Sustainability Management Master. And yeah, thank you for coming and sharing your experience. And maybe you would just say hello to everyone.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Advait, and I'm currently a sustainability management student in ESCP. I'm from India, and I joined my master's in 2024. Uh, it was a good experience for me because the rigorous of curriculum, especially in the sustainability, is important. When I was looking for the kind of masters in sustainability, when I saw ESCP's whole thing, especially the diversity and the range of the courses and the range from starting from the initial beginnings, the small, and then specialization in different areas, especially the reporting, sustainable supply chain management, different aspects of the sustainability, especially social and environmental aspects. I think it helped me a lot to gain the domain knowledge. And I think with the electives, you can also specialize in particular areas like sustainability reporting and all, which helped me not as an just a student, but also gives me a different student like a different experience because you are diverse background people coming from different backgrounds and studying with different people from different countries, especially Europe, America, Asia, which I learned a lot from my colleagues and my classmates. So yeah, it's a good experience.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Advait. Yeah, before we continue, I don't want forget to say, of course, the session will be recorded and you will receive the recording later on, same as the slides, so you can check everything later on. And there's also possibility to write all your questions in the chat, and we will discuss them later. Christian already said a lot about ESCP, so I don't know how familiar you are with the school. We are, in fact, the world's oldest business school. We have been founded more than 200 years ago in Paris, and now we have campuses in all these vibrant cities, and the most vibrant one, we would say, is Berlin, of course. And to give you some more figures, as Christian also said, we have this cross-cultural business education approach in all our programs. We have at the moment around 200 research active full faculty members coming from all over the world, teaching on all our campuses. They are supported by around 800 affiliate and visiting professors. Currently are studying more than 10,000 students in all our programs, starting from bachelor, master programs, PhD programs, executive education, and they are representing more than 120 different nationalities. And this diversity also shows up when it comes to our alumni. More than 90,000 alumni are working worldwide. That means wherever you go later, you will meet an alumni from ESCP for sure who can share his or her experience and help you whenever it's needed. Very quickly about the programs, we want to focus a little bit deeper about the application, but the Berlin Master programs we're offering 4 programs, and these programs are in line with the academic experience we have here on campus. We have a master program in international sustainability management, 1 in impact entrepreneurship, and 2 programs with a digital focus, 1 in international sales management and 1 in strategy and digital business. All these programs are 2 years full-time programs. We start once a year, always in September. The language of instruction is English, but we have also mandatory language classes in all our programs because, as we said, we have this international approach in all our programs, and also intercultural understanding is something that we consider high, and learning language helps broaden your intercultural understanding as well. You will receive 120 ECTS credits for this master program. This is a very formal information, but just to give you the framework of following the Bologna process. Next step would be a PhD program once you have completed this master. For sure, this is not in your focus at the moment, but just to give you this information as well. The programs take place mainly at the Berlin campus, and they are divided in trimester, in terms instead of semester. So we have 6 terms in total, and most of the terms take place in Berlin. Only 1 or 2 terms take place in Paris. Actually, only the International Sustainability Management Master takes place for 2 terms in Paris. The other students are only for 3 months in Paris and come back then. In all our programs, we also have retreats or international seminars as part of the curriculum for the Sustainability Management Master and the Impact Entrepreneurship Master. They take place in Germany, while for the other 2 programs, we have international seminars. We used to go to Houston with the International Sales Management Master, but due to the current situation in the US, we will rethink the location, but for sure there will be a nice international location where we go in the future. And for the Strategy and Digital Business Master, it is still Singapore, where the program explores the tech scene during their stay. About the CCPs that are part of all these programs, Christian also was talking about. This is in the 2nd year. As he said, companies are coming, bringing real projects to the students, and we always say usually the students are our clients, but during this project, the companies are the clients, and students are working in real working life situations for companies, and the outcome that is presented in front of a jury at the end is always excellent, and a very good first possibility also to get in touch with companies, to network, and to network for internships or maybe also for first permanent job. The tuition fees are displayed here. They are per year, and about the admission requirements, we will talk a little bit more in detail later. In a nutshell, again, what you need to know about the programs. As I said, you will receive the slides, and the programs are linked to the program names. But just in a nutshell, the Sustainability Management Master focuses on sustainability in an international business context, and students learn how to integrate sustainability into strategy and day-to-day business decisions. While the Master in Impact Entrepreneurship is for students who have an entrepreneurial mindset. That does not mean that they want to start their own business, but they have this entrepreneurial spirit, and the program combines entrepreneurship with social, with sustainable and technological impact. The Master in International Sales Management is about, of course, managing international sales and customers. You will get deep knowledge about all sales parts, sales techniques, sales management, channel distribution, and it has a strong practical focus and prepares students for global sales and also for business development roles. And last but not least, the Master in Strategy and Digital Business focuses, of course, on strategy in a digital context and prepares students to drive innovation into companies, understand digital transformation, and make the needed strategic decisions once they work in complex business environments. So you might be interested what we are looking for in our candidates. There are some formal requirements. You need to have successfully completed bachelor degrees from a state accredited, state recognized institution, at least 3 years bachelor, 180 ECTS is the minimum. You can also already apply when you are in your last year. Then you submit the already available transcripts, and important is that once the program starts, you have successfully completed your bachelor. Most of our students have an economic or a management, a business background, but not all of them. You can also apply with another background. We have also students from social science, from who studied languages, architecture, engineers quite a lot. And all these other directions are also very welcome. You would then be requested to take what we call a catch-up course 1 week prior the program start, and you would be invited to that to get some first knowledge about management topics. Interculturally interested, internationally oriented, we already talked about that, is of course something we are looking in about our candidates. You should be open-minded, and of course you should have a high level of English. C1 is required. This can be proved by a language certificate, IELTS, TOEFL, TOEIC, Cambridge certificate, but we also accept undergraduate studies totally taught in English, even if it's not in an English-speaking country. And what is really important for us is also, of course, you will learn a lot when you are a student at ESCP, but we also would like that you bring some value to our community. So this is something we are also looking for. And what can you expect once you are accepted and enrolled in our programs? We have small classes. The classes are around 30 to 55 or 60 students per class, no more. The average age is around 22 to 25. We do not expect professional experience. Maximum is 2 years. So in general, the student community is pretty young, but if you are 26 or 27, don't hesitate to contact us. We will check your CV and we'll see whether you still fit to our cohort. On average, we have around 15 nationalities. It can be 10, it can be 12, but as we said, it's a very intercultural mixture in class. And as Christian also said, we have company speakers in all our classes, or in most of our classes, who at the end will give their insights from the corporate world, their perspective related to the topics that are taught in class. And it's a very practical approach. You can expect that usually you start with the theory and then you apply it very quickly to practice in case studies, in group work, simulations, whatever is possible. A lot of presentations you can expect in our classes. And it's a lifelong network because we have this huge alumni network. This is what you can expect, and now I hand over to Claire.
Thank you, Martina, for these first insights. And I will take over to talk about the more boring but very important logistical aspect of your potential application to one of our programs. So starting with the application deadlines, dates, you can see here the updated calendar. So you can see the last deadline was beginning of February. So next week, for example, we will test those who applied until the 9th of February so they will be tested for their personal interviews. And so we have this admission on a rolling basis, and you get also all the details on the program website. As you can see, the yellow part on the right side of the screen is really what you have on the webpage of your program of interest, where you can download the brochure, get in contact with us, and the third button is leading you directly to the application platform. So it's really straightforward, self-explanatory, directly on the website. You can see also the 10th of March is marked with 3 little stars. And I really want to stress this out for our non-EU international students who are in need of a German study visa to come to study in Berlin. This is the last deadline to which you should definitely apply for the programs in order to be able to go through the whole visa application process in time, because the classes start in September. We expect from the students that everyone is arriving in Berlin by the 1st of September, also to have the time to settle down, because there are also the integration or induction days, plus the catch-up courses if you are assigned to, and then the start of the program. And talking by experience, we had really unexpected extended delays of visa procedures in the last years. So please make sure that you hand in your application in time. Otherwise, we also accept application by until the 7th of July latest. Moving on to the application process, basically. So the documents that you need to apply. So I think there is one slide before, Martina. Sorry. Oh, no. Okay. I thought there was a middle slide. All good. So basically, there are 3 steps. The first step is for you to upload your online application, so on the platform. And what is mandatory as documents is your letter of motivation, your passport or ID card, your CV, and all the official available transcripts of your bachelor's degree. We also know that students are also in their 3rd year of bachelor's degree that they haven't completed by now, but please just upload any, like all the available grades and unofficial transcripts you have at hand. And if you already hold it, then your bachelor's degree. What is optional is, Martina already mentioned the C1 level that we expect from our candidates. If you're native or if you studied full-time, so 100% of your 3 years or 4 years long bachelor's degree, then you don't need to have another proof. However, otherwise we need some kind of IELTS or TOEFL or a Cambridge certification that is from the last 2 years. And also optional, you can submit, if you have a GMAT or GRE or TAJMAJ score, you can share it with us, and we can see if that would exempt you from our local logic test. Second, so I will go a bit into the CV and motivation letters in terms of what we expect, because we get a lot of questions about this. So the CV should be clear and concise. On one page, I mean, I know you all have already very interesting backgrounds and experiences, but at your level of experience or a level of education, you should be able to fit your CV in 1 page or 1.5 pages if needed. And always welcome to also add something more personal. Of course, we're interested into the academics, but we also like to get to know you as a person, what you like doing in your free time. If you look at the example of the CV on the screen, this is kind of a good example of what you should not do, because you can see that this person rather prepared a CV to apply for a full-time position or for a job, because the career summary is the first header. If you apply for a higher education program, it's really important and relevant for those who will evaluate your profile that your education block is really the first header. So yeah, keep that in mind. And exactly, using bullet points and in the most concise way is always the most relevant. And talking about documents with the application, the motivation letter on the next slide. Yeah. So motivation letter, also a lot of questions, not a lot of guidelines, but some guidelines. Please make it fit into one page. Also, keeping in mind that if you make it to the last round, to the personal interview, the juries who will interview you will have your motivation letter and your CV in front of their eyes when interviewing you. So keep in mind that it has to be like nice to read. There is no specific guideline on font and spacing, but just make it easy to read. And you don't have to go through the whole history or vision and values of ESCP, because we all, like working at ESCP, we're all aware of this, and we know that you make your research about the school, which is great. Also have it for your interview, but you don't have to put it in your motivation letter. What is important to us is for you to really articulate your motivation to join this specific program, also because it's a specialized master. So we and the admission board in general is really interested in why you apply for this program and how this program would help you or is relevant for you to achieve your future professional, personal, extracurricular goals. Yeah, that's what we want to know about you in the motivation letter. And the last tip that is also written on the slide is to write it yourself. I mean, we're all aware that everyone is using AI, ChatGPT, and more to make up some documents or just prepare yourself, which is totally fine when it comes to the formatting or the formulation. But when it comes to content, we also have ways to see how much AI is used, and it always makes a way better impression if it gives a feeling of something genuine and self-made. Yeah, regarding this testing part, so that would be the first part, so uploading all the documents. And then we screen your background and your documents. And then if everything goes fine, you would get invited by our admission department for the testing parts, which is one, the ESCP logic test, and two, the interview. So the ESCP logic test is always taking place like a few days before the interview. Everything is happening online, so you receive the email with all the explanation, the credentials for you to log in on the platform. You also get practice questions that are available. You can practice as long as you want. And then once you start the real assessment, you have to complete it completely at once. Exactly. So as it says, it's 1 hour long with 4 different parts going from critical reasoning to some logical exercises. We also get the question a lot that if it's like the GMAT, it's not like the GMAT, it's shorter, it's not so extensive, and it's nothing that you should be too worried about. And exactly repeating with, if you have a GMAT or any management test score, please send it to us and we can see if this exempts you from our test. And then you would go into the interview, in the same email from the admission department, you would receive who will interview you. So it's the format is always 2 juries and 1 candidate. The juries are often professors who are also teaching in the program. It's also often the academic dean himself or herself if they're available. And the format is always on Zoom, is 30 minutes call. And the conversation goes for 20 minutes, more or less, and of course led by the juries. And the aim of this interview is just to get to know you better as a person, your motivation beyond your motivation letter, and also everything that Martina also mentioned, to see a bit like how you resonate, how is your critical thinking sometimes, just also unfamiliar questions. That would be also the topic of the next slides. Exactly, on how to know to approach challenging questions. Of course, every jury has its own style. Some of them like to be quite challenging. It doesn't mean that it disadvantages you, but you need to prepare yourself to, tackle some more or less difficult topics like failures or difficulties that you already encountered in your professional or academic life. And as we also welcome students who are not and who don't have a background of economics, management, business administration. For the juries, it's also really important to know why did you study engineering before and now you want to switch to business and specifically this topic of business. So also be prepared to articulate why, and there's no right or wrong. I mean, if it makes sense, if you make it relevant in your arguments, then it's all good on our sides. And also how to tackle weaknesses and difficult situation that you encounter. And in terms of tips, it's obviously nice to stay up to date with business news and news in general. And something that we also always say is that the jury, they can be challenging, but they're also really genuine in their expectations. So they are always happy to reformulate the question. So if you don't understand the question, please take the time to have a breath and ask the person to ask the question again in a different way, maybe, and also to take the time to just think about your answer. It's totally fine to have some moments of silence and to make up your mind for your answer. On the admission part, last but not least, also prepare some questions for us. This is something that the jury are really expecting. It's also kind of part of the evaluation grid. So you have all the opportunity to also make research on the juries who will interview you, because you will have the names beforehand, and also in general, because it's not only the moment for us to choose if you would be a good fit for the school and the program. It's also a moment for you to choose if the program, the school, the people would be a good fit for you. So please also dare to ask interesting questions at the end of the interview. This is just an overview to get you a little excited about some of our Berlin campus company partners. Yeah, nothing more to add. There are also a bunch more, and we have a career center in Berlin and also on all other campuses that is really, really active. And this is only something you can get excited about. And for me, the last point would be maybe a glimpse about Berlin, what it's like to live and study in Berlin. Maybe some of you are already living or already came to Berlin. Some of you maybe have no clue what the city is like. But Berlin is a very vibrant and active city. There's always something nice to do, going from concerts, music, food discovery, voluntary, also political engagement, but so many different activities, hobbies, indoors, outdoors. When it's 30-degree in the summer or -10 in the winter, there's always some kind of things to be done. It's a very diverse and multicultural city. We have literally cultures from everywhere in the world, which makes it also very good to discover. And also in terms of food, of history, of personal initiatives. And it stays like a relatively affordable city and compared to other big cities or capitals in Europe, which is also a good side, even though we know the prices are rising a bit everywhere. But yeah, as a student, it's definitely a nice experience. And the Berlin ESCP campus, you can see one small picture on the very right side. It's in a very nice green area in the west of the city. And as I mentioned, also with the career center, it's an active campus like all the others, but there's always weekly events also organized by the student societies, also in terms of sports, in terms of partying after work events, but also a lot of focus on career development. And of course, we always offer also service in terms of mental health and well-being support. I think that's it on our side. We still have a little bit of time for Q&A. I think some questions already arrived on the chat.
Yeah, maybe we can have a look. Let me just see. Okay, the first one you already answered. The program is always designed for 2 years, regardless if you have a 3 years bachelor or a French master that is a bit longer. Yes, because the specialization is from day 1 until the end of the program. The next question is, my background is civil engineering. Currently, I'm working in sales, in construction, finished products, would like to advance my career in sales. Yeah, the best would be, of course, if you send me your resume so I can have a closer look at it, but it's not a totally unusual professional and academic background for students joining this program, the Sales Master. What would be a sufficient score for GMAT? Claire, this is you. You always know the.
Yeah, basically, sometimes it also depends on the weight of each part of the exam, but in general, I would say there's also 2 versions. So for the old version of the GMAT, it would be really a really minimum of 630, and for the focus version, which is the more recent one, would be 585. But also just send us your score on an individual basis before applying, so we can discuss this on an individual basis with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes we also recommend candidates who are holding a GMAT, and we consider it, let's say, not super high, to also take the test, and then of course we take the better results, so you have the best chances. And there's also a question: can you fail just because your result at the test was not good enough? You mean the online logic test, I assume. Yeah, it's one part of the overall evaluation, and the reason why we have this test is, of course, that, as we said, we have a practical approach. However, it's a Master of Science degree. That means students will be confronted with theories, with quantitative questions, and not all of them have an economic background or a business background. So we want to see whether our candidates have a certain understanding for quantitative questions. In case the result is really bad, and this may happen because you have a bad day, this happens, then of course we have a closer look at your transcripts, and we'll see if you have taken any quantitative course during your undergraduate studies. So I would not worry that much. We will see, and we will discuss it then, of course, internally, and most important is the interview. The interview is the biggest part of the evaluation, and there you should perform well. Any other questions? I think I hope I explained why we have the reasoning behind the logic test. Because there's a question, may I also ask, what is your reasoning behind the logic test? This is what I just explained, that we want to see whether our future students have a certain quantitative understanding. Because there's also the master thesis later on, and it's a Master of Science thesis, so also based on theories. And another question is, if my degree is based in business, do I still need to write the test? Yes, but I think you will not have a lot of problems to pass it. Yeah, but all candidates have to take this test, except if they submit a GMAT, GRE, or Tâche-Marche. Maybe we can also ask our student ambassadors. The test you took when you applied was a little different, but it was also a logic test. Can you still remember how it was for you?
Yeah, I would like to add. I think it was a kind of logic test. So, and also we had got to get the free test first, the before you join the main test. So it's kind of a mix of a logical reasoning, a numerical reasoning, everything. And I think it's not going to be that hard. It's just general logical questions which test your logic, test your mental ability to do the maths. But yeah, it's a good, I will say, yeah, definitely you try the free test first before you join the main test, and it will help you.
Yeah, thank you, Advait. Maria?
For me, I would also recommend the same, that like you do the test, the practice ones. I don't know how much they change now and what platform you guys are using. I remember they were just the same questions the whole time, but I think it's good to like get acquainted to how the system works, like to understand how the platform works, because really you have very little time for both tests, or at least that's how it was for us. So it's also about kind of like speed at the same time. I, for example, did the whole logic one, but for the math one, the mathematical reasoning, I could only get like through half of it, and I still got accepted. I think, like as you guys were saying, it depends on a lot of things. It's not only one factor that is taken into account. And like to give maybe an insight, for example, one of the logical questions, the mathematical reasonings a lot were about percentages and like recalculating that and getting just some numbers, and then you have to calculate how much that would be and stuff like that. And then for the logic one, it was questions, for example, of like there's some people in the office, they need to plan a meeting, and then you get like when some of them are available, and you need to kind of say when is the time frame where they can meet. For example, they're giving you different like time frames and stuff like that. So it's not that it's super complicated, but it's good to practice like for speed, because you don't have a lot of time, and to get acquainted with the platform.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Yeah, it has changed a little bit, but it's yeah, the time frame is the same. It's still 1 hour, and with the practiced questions before, you should be able to succeed. Are there any further questions from your side, or all clear? Maybe if there are no questions, maybe I can ask a question to our ambassador. Sorry, but you just completed the company consultancy project, and maybe you can quickly give a little over how you liked it. Was it very challenging? How was it for you?
I'll go first. For me, I worked with a startup and the femtech sector, so technology company for females, specifically with like gynecology and like with vaginal infections. And then for me, it was a really cool experience. I'm doing the entrepreneurship masters, so it was a good opportunity to have the contact with like a startup, and it's a very different context to work in than when you're working with a more established or bigger company. Some of my classmates were with more established companies. So like the feedback that I got from there and from them and how things work, like for Allianz, for example, is totally different than working with a startup. And it was really interesting because we had constant meetings with the founder, and we also have every team like gets an academic advisor. And in our case, we were really lucky. It was a pleasure to work with our academic advisor. She was always very involved, and then you have the opportunity to kind of get feedback and work on a real project with a real company. In my case, it was like for an internalization strategy. So I needed to analyze different countries and which ones would be the best depending on what they want to do. And it's also a very nice opportunity to work with people from the other masters, because usually we're just working with people from our own masters, except in some electives where we get mixed. For example, I had a finance elective with the digital strategy masters. And there were other electives where we would also get mixed up with sustainability management students. But in this case, I worked, for example, with 3 girls from the Sales Masters. So it was really nice to have all the different approaches and perspectives and nationalities, and it brings a lot to the mix, and it has its challenges, but I think it's a really good opportunity to prepare like for also working life.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, I recall it very well. So Advait, maybe also still your, I don't know how the connection is with you. It's a bit difficult for you.
Yeah, yeah. I think for me, it was an application for consultancy project because I had my electives regarding sustainability reporting because I'm from the Sustainability Masters, and I had my elective in the reporting. The consultancy project was like kinds of hands-on experience for me because with the company I was working, I wanted like we have a task to do the benchmarking on their sustainability reports and which I was able to do really good because we had that elective in our curriculum. So it helped me a lot.
Oh, Advait, I think we'll.
Same background student. Also, we had like masters in entrepreneurship students. So when we were talking to them, they get to know about the topic, and it's just amazing.
Okay, thank you, Advait.
In the chat, Sally asks if everybody is going through the online test and interview, or if it's a first selection, if the first selection is done based on the documents people said. And then I replied, and Adwait also replied, we actually mean the same thing, Sally. Both answers do say the same thing. Basically, we first have the background evaluation where everyone submits their documents on the application platform. And then when the deadline has passed, we screen all the documents of all applications. And if you get selected to go to the testing parts include the logic test and the interview. And everyone who passed successfully the background evaluation, so the document screening, will have to go through the ESCP logic test and the personal interview. I hope it's more clear now.
Yeah, and what we maybe, what I could still add is that many candidates, before they submit their documents, they are in touch with us and in exchange, so we can already see, just the formalities, whether a bachelor degree is accepted or not, so we can already help them and assure them whether we would accept it or not. That sometimes also helps to submit a successful online application. So in case you have any doubts, please contact us, and we have time to revise all your questions and documents with you. Okay, any further questions? Otherwise, we can also close 10 minutes earlier. If we will get back to all of you, and we will send you the recording, the slides, and you have then you have our contact data. So please, don't hesitate to contact us and to discuss any further questions individually. Thank you so much for coming, and have a nice remaining day wherever you are.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Adwait.
Thank you so much, both
Thank
of you.
you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.